Let me go and open one notepad. Go and open one notepad. And let me keep here what is the agenda for today's session is. Let me go and keep here. What is the agenda for today's class is. In today's class, we'll go and discuss about introduction to Microsoft Power Platform. That means, so in today's class, in the next coming 60 minutes of time, in the next coming 60 minutes of time, so we'll be understanding in detail about what is Microsoft Power Platform, what type of software it is, what we can do with the help of Power Platform, and also we'll understand who will use the Power Platform software. So these are all the points which we'll go and discuss now in today's skits. So now let me go and list out all those points here first, guys. Whatever the points we are going to cover now in today's class, first let me list out all those here. So the first point you'll understand, that is what is Power Platform. We need to understand about what is Power Platform. And the second point you'll understand about business applications. What is meant by business applications. And next third point you'll understand about how to implement the business applications. How to implement the business applications using Power Platform software. How we'll go and implement the business applications using Power Platform software. Along with this, we'll understand one more point, that is Power Platform architecture. Power Platform architecture. So these are all the points which we'll go and cover now in today's class. So first we'll understand about what is Power Platform. Second, we'll understand about what is business applications. Third point, we'll understand about how to implement the business applications using Power Platform. And fourth point, Power Platform architecture. So let me show you the architecture of Microsoft Power Platform now. Power Platform architecture. So this is what the Power Platform architecture is. So we'll be understanding this Power Platform architecture in today's class. We'll understand what is the architecture of Microsoft Power Platform in today's class. We'll understand this architecture now. All right, fine. So these are all the points which we are going to cover now in today's class. So among all those, first let me go and discuss about what is Power Platform. So for now, just try to understand at a high level. So what we can do with the help of Power Platform, guys. For now, just keep in mind what we can do with the help of Microsoft Power Platform. Let me list out few points here, guys. So within the Power Platform, we can create the apps. First point, what? Using Power within the Power Platform, we can create some apps. And within the Power Platform, we can create some websites. And within the Power Platform, we can create the chatbot. We can create what? Chatbots. And within the Power Platform, we can do some automations. We can do what? Automations. And also within the Power Platform, we can store the data. It lacks as one data source. Next, within the Power Platform, finally, sixth point, we can do the data analysis. We can do what? Data analysis. So these are all the six things or the six components which we are going to implement within the Power Platform software. So how to go and create the apps, how to create the websites, how to create a chatbot, how to do the automations, and what is meant by data sources, what is meant by data analysis, all these six components, how we'll go and implement within the Power Platform, we'll be understanding now in today's class. So you'll understand all these points, right? Fine. Now, along with this, we'll understand two more points now in today's classes. Along with this, we'll understand two more points today's classes. That is, who will use them? Who will use the Power Platform software? Who will use what? Power Platform software. And also, we'll understand the next point. That is, who will hire the Power Platform developers. If you learn the Power Platform, then you will become the Power Platform developer. So you'll understand these 2 points also. So these are all the points which I am going to discuss now in today's class. I listed all the points here. So each and every point we'll discuss in detail in today's class, guys, right? Fine. So now among all those points, first we'll start from here. First we'll go and discuss about who will use Power Platform and who will head the Power Platform. First we'll understand these 2 points, guys, right? So now try to understand who will use the Power Platform software now. Let me explain, guys. Now try to understand who will use the Power Platform software means. Let's say who will use the Power Platform software means. Let's say if there is any company, whatever the company is, guys, there is any company, the companies will do what? The companies will do some business. As we know that the companies will do what? They'll do some business. Now let's take well-known companies for us. Let us take well-known companies for us. Let's take Amazon. So Amazon is one company, guys. It is one company. They are doing some business. What kind of business they are doing? They are doing some e-commerce business. And let's take some other company like ICICI. ICICI is one company. They are doing some business. They are doing the banking business. And let's take some other company like Swiggy. Swiggy is one company. They are doing some food business. So like this, if you take any company, guys, whatever the company it is, the companies will do what? They'll do some business. Now, let's take Amazon is there. Let's take Amazon company is there. Now, do you people think that Amazon company directly will go and start doing the e-commerce business? Do you people think that Amazon company directly will start doing the e-commerce business? No, guys. Amazon company, any company, not only Amazon, any company, they are not able to start doing the business directly. So if you want to start the business, now what the companies need to do here? Before going to start the business, what the companies need to do here is, the companies need to go and implement some applications. The companies need to implement what? They need to go and implement some applications. Now what applications the companies need to implement? The companies need to go and implement the business applications. The companies need to go and implement what? Applications. What applications? Business applications. So now let me go and keep that point here. So for now we understand about what? For now we understand if there is any company, if the company wants to start any business, then before going to start the business, what the companies need to do? The companies need to go and implement what? Business applications. Okay. So we understand before going to start the business, the companies need to go and implement some applications that are business applications. Now, the next point we need to understand here, what are called as business applications, guys? The next point we need to understand, what are called as business applications. Let's take any company here. Let's take Amazon itself. Now, before going to start the e-commerce business, Amazon company need to implement these business applications, guys. Now, what are called as business applications? Let me list out here. So if you observe, Amazon company will have some app or not? Yes, Amazon company will have some apps. Now, app is one of the business applications. App is one of the business application. Now, Amazon company will have the websites or not? Yes, Amazon company will have some websites. So website is one of the business application. Website is one of the business application. Website is one of the business application. Nowadays, they are creating some chatbot. Chatbot is also one of the business application. And if you observe, Amazon company will go and do some automations. To do the automations, they need to go and use some other applications. And also, if you observe, if the company is doing some business, definitely the company will have some business data. So to store the business data, they need to go and use some data sources. Now, data source is also one of the business application. And also companies will go and analyze the business data. To analyze the data, we need to have some other application or a software. So analyzing the data will call it as data analysis. Analyzing the data will call it as what? Data analysis. So to analyze the data, we need to go and use some other applications, right? So now these are all called as business applications, guys. If you take any company, either Amazon, ICICI, Swiggy, Zomato, Insta, any company if you take, if you observe, so those companies will have the apps or not? Yes, must and should. Nowadays, if you want to start some business, mandatory, we need to have one app. So now, next, website. So if there is a company, means definitely the company need to have a website. So website is one of the business application. Website is one of the business application. The next one is chatbot. Chatbot is also one of the business application. So nowadays, top MNC companies, Every large scale company, they are created a chatbot, and companies will do some automations. There is no doubt. Without doing the automations, nowadays it is not possible to do some business case. So companies need to have some data sources to store their data, and also companies will go and analyze their business data case. They'll do the data analysis. So these are all called as business applications now. If you take any company, there is no doubt that company need to have all these applications case. These are called as what? Business applications. So now we understand, before going to start the business, what the companies need to do. Companies need to go and implement some business applications. Now, what are called as business applications? These are all comes under the business applications only, guys. These are all comes under where? Business applications, right? Okay. So now we understand, before going to start the business, companies need to go and implement the business applications like this. So now in order to go and implement all the business applications, what the softwares the companies are using. So nowadays, most of the companies are using software to create the business applications is what? Power Plant. So now in order to go and implement all these business applications, we need to go and use one software. So what's that software we are going to use here is Power Platform, right? Okay. So now we understand who will use the Power Platform. Who will use the Power Platform? If there is any company, if the company wants to start some business, then before going to start the business, the companies need to go and implement some business applications. To implement the business applications, companies are using which software? They're using what? Power Platform. So we understand who will use the Power Platform. Companies will use it. And also one more point we understand here, guys. We come to know that Power Platform software is used for what? We understand one more point here. Power Platform software is used to implement what? The business applications, right? Okay. So now we understand who will use the Power Platform, and also we understand what is the use of Power Platform. Power Platform is used to implement all the business applications. And the next point we need to understand here, who will hire the Power Platform developers now? Now for this question also, the answer is same. So which company is using the Power Platform software? Which company is using what? Power Platform software to implement what? To implement the business applications. Which company is using the Power Platform software to implement the business applications? The same company will go and hire whom? The same company will go and hire the Power Platform developers, right? So we understand who will hire the Power Platform developers here. So which company is using the Power Platform software? The same company will go and hire the Power Platform developers. Okay, fine. So now, why these companies are hiring the Power Platform developers? Why the companies like Amazon or Swiggy, Zomato, or any other Infosys, or these companies, why these companies will go and hire the Power Platform developers? Because Power Platform developers need to go and work with which software? Power Platform developers will go and work with the Power Platform software. Now, with the help of Power Platform software, Power Platform developers will go and implement what? With the help of Power Platform developers will go and implement what? Business applications. Once after implementing the business applications, with the help of that business applications, companies will go and start doing what? The help of business applications, companies will go and start doing what? Business, right? Fine. Okay. So now we understand clearly who will use the Power Platform, who will hire the Power Platform developers, and also we understand Power Platform is used for what? Power Platform is used to implement the business applications. Okay. So let me go and mention that point here, guys. So nowadays, companies are using the Power Platform software implement the business applications. Nowadays, companies are using the Power Platform software to implement the business applications. Okay, fine. Now, try to understand, guys. From here, we need to understand two more points. From here, we need to understand what? Two more points. So what we need to understand from here is, so I said that before going to start the business, what the companies need to do? Companies need to go and implement what? Business applications. Now, why? Why the companies need to implement the business applications before going to start the business? What is the need of it? So we need to understand the first point here. What is the need of business applications? Why the companies need to implement them? And the second point, we need to understand how to implement these business applications using Power Platform. Second point, we need to understand how to implement these business applications using Power Platform software. These 2 points we need to understand now. So let me mention those points here, guys. From here, as we understand, we need to go and know 2 points here. The first point we need to understand about what is the need of business applications. What is the need of business applications? And the second point we need to understand how to implement the business applications using Power Platform software. How to implement the business applications using Power Platform software. These 2 points we need to understand now. These 2 points we need to understand now. Right? Okay. So now first let me go and discuss about what is the need of business applications. Why the companies need to go and implement all these business applications before going to start the business. What's the need of them? Let me mention here, guys. Try to understand. Business applications are used to, what is the use of this means? Business applications are used to implement or streamline the business process of an organization. Simple. So what is the need of business applications? Try to understand. Business applications are used for what? These are used to implement or streamline. Now, what you want to streamline? I want to streamline the business process. So every company or organization, organization means companies, guys. Every company will have some business process. So I want to streamline the business process of the organization now. So if you want to streamline the business process of your organization, then must you need to go and use what? Then must and should we need to go and use what? Business applications. So with the help of the business applications only, we are able to streamline the business process of the organizations, guys. Without using these business applications, we are not able to implement or streamline the process of any organization. If you want to implement these business applications, then must we need to go and use all this, right? Fine. Okay. Now we understand what is the need of these business applications. These are used to streamline the business process of the organizations. And from here, we need to understand one more point, guys. I said that these are used to streamline what? Business process. Now, what is meant by business process? Business process means what? Let me keep here. So business process will involves in multiple activities, tasks and rules that are used to implement the process of an organization. Simple. So what is my business process means? Business process means it involves in multiple activities. That means if you are doing some business means, then there is no doubt in your business we'll do some multiple activities. We'll do some multiple tasks. And while doing this activities as task, they need to follow some rules here. So now by using what? You can define all these multiple activities, tasks or rules by using the business applications only. With the help of the business applications only, we can implement all this, right? Okay. So now we understand what is the need of business applications, and also we understand what is the business process. And next we need to understand about how to implement this business applications using Power Platform. How to implement the business applications using what? Power Platform. So now try to understand, guys. Before going to discuss how to implement the business applications using Power Platform, we need to understand one more point here. So what we need to understand here is, so while implementing the business applications, there is one process we need to follow while implementing the business applications. there is one process we need to follow. It is not recommended to implement the business applications by your own guess. So there is some process we need to follow. That process we'll call it as business applications. We'll call it as what? Business applications process. Right. So now let me show you the business applications process architecture, guys. I will show you the business applications process architecture. Let me show you the architecture so that you'll understand very easily. Let me open the architecture of business applications process. So this is what the business applications process architecture. So if you are implementing the business applications for any organization, we need to go with this process only, guys. Now try to understand what is this process now. So try to understand, while implementing the business applications for any organization, first we need to start with front-end applications, guys. While implementing the business applications for any organization, first always recommended to go and start with what? Front-end applications. So front-end applications means what? Front-end applications means apps, websites, and then chatbots. These three comes from the front end. Front end means whatever the applications the customers are able to see with their eyes. Front end means what? Whatever the applications the customers are able to see with their eyes. Customers or the users. App, customers are able to see it. Websites, customers are able to see this one. Chatbot also customers are able to see. So these three comes under the front end, guys. Right? Fine. Now once after implementing the front end, second preference is for what? Next we need to go and implement what? Next we need to go and implement the data sources. Next we need to go and implement what? Data sources. Right. So now what is meant by data sources means data sources is nothing but the place where the companies will store their business data. The place where the company will go and store their business data will call it as what? Data sources. This data sources comes under the backend, guys. It is backend. Customers are not able to view it. It comes under the backend. And next, third step is for what? Automations. Third step is for what? Automations. So nowadays, there is no doubt, without doing the automations, you are not able to do even a small scale business also, guys. Third step is for automation. And finally, the fourth step is what? Finally, the fourth step is data analysis. The fourth step is for what? Data analysis. Data analysis means what? Analyzing the data. Data analysis means what? Analyzing the data. Nowadays, companies are preferred to analyze the business data in the visuals or report format, guys. Now see, these are all the visuals. These are all the visuals. Nowadays, companies are preferred to analyze their business data in the form of visuals or in the form of reports, guys. This is, we'll call it as visual. A group of visual, we'll call it as a report. So now, this is the fourth step in the business applications process. Okay. So now we understand that this business applications process is a how many step process? In the business applications, there are 4 steps involved in this. It is a 4-step process. It is a 4-step process. What are the 4 steps involved in this? First step 1, always we'll recommend it to start with front end. Step 1 is creating the front end applications like apps, websites, and then chatbot. And next, once after this, second preference is for what? Data sources. So the place where the companies will store their business data. We'll call it as data source. And next, third preference is for what? Automations. You need to do some automations here. And finally, the fourth step is what? Data analysis. Right. So these are the steps involved in this. So we understand business applications process is a how many step process? It is a 4-step process, guys. So now, always we need to follow this process only, guys, while implementing the business applications. So it is not recommended to go and implement by your own. Let's say, instead of starting with front-end applications, let's say you want to start with data analysis first. So now it is possible to start with the data analysis first. Initially, if you want to do the data analysis, means no, it is not possible, guys. You are not able to start with data analysis. Why? Because this data analysis will depends on the data sources. If you want to do the data analysis, you need to have the data sources. So without having the data sources, not possible to do the data analysis. And if you have the data sources, you can do the data analysis, means no, again, it's not possible. So why? Because this data sources depends on what? Front-end applications. Data sources depends on what? Front-end applications. So, and also this automations, most of the times automations depends on the data sources, most of the times, and sometimes it depends on the front-end applications also, guys. So what we understand now, whatever the 4-step business applications process is there, all the 4 steps are connected with each other internally. So each and every step is having some connection with another step, guys. So this 4-step business applications process is connected with each other internally, guys. So how these 4 steps are connected with each other internally and why they are connected, you will come to know. You'll understand. I will explain you every point in today's class, guys. Right? So now let me go and keep here. As we understand, this business applications process is a how many step process? It is a 4-step process. It is a 4-step process. Now, what are the 4 steps involved in this? The step 1 is, let me list out those. Front-end applications. Step 1 is what? Front-end applications. Step 2 is for data sources. And step 3 is for automations. And finally, step 4, nothing but data analysis. Data analysis. These are the 4 steps involved in this. Now we'll understand what is meant by front-end applications, what is meant by data sources, what is meant by automations, and what is meant by data analysis. And also we'll understand how these 4 steps are connected, how this data analysis depends on the data sources, and how the data sources depends on the front end, and how the automations depends on the data sources. You'll come to know, you'll understand now, right? Fine. So now let me go and start implementing this 4-step business applications process, guys. So as I mentioned, always we'll start with what? Front-end applications. Front-end applications means what? Apps, websites, and then chatbots. So these 3 comes on the front end. So now try to understand, guys, one more point here. In order to go and understand this 4-step business applications process in a better way, to understand this applications process in a better way, let us assume we are going to implement this business applications process for one of the company. Any company you can take. Either you can take Amazon, either you can take ICICI, or you can take Swiggy, guys. You can take any company here. It's up to you. So I'll take the Swiggy company here. I'll take which company? Swiggy company, a well-known company for all of you. So Swiggy company is doing what business now? Food business. So now keep in mind, guys. So we are trying to implement this business applications process for Swiggy company. Now Swiggy is doing some food business. Keep in mind these 2 points, right? Okay. Now Swiggy company is ready with front end. Let us assume Swiggy company is ready with front end applications, guys. Now if the company is ready with front end applications, then slowly they can start doing the business. Let's take testing their applications functionality, or they can start promoting their business, right? Fine. Okay. Now Swiggy company is doing some food business here. Now as a customer, let's take, I'm the customer, guys. I'm the customer, or we are the customers. So as a customer, I want to buy some food item from the Swiggy. I want to buy some food item now. If you want to buy the food item from Swiggy, must and should we need to do what? We need to go and download and install the Swiggy app. We need to download and install what? Swiggy app in your mobile phones. This is the first thing we need to do. If you want to buy something from the Swiggy, first of all, download and install the Swiggy app. Now, once after downloading and installing the Swiggy app, we'll go and place an order in the app. What we'll do? We'll go and place an order, right? Fine. So now we are the customers. We are placing an order in the app. Once after downloading and install the Swiggy app, we are placing an order. Now, once the order is placed, in the next 30 minutes to 1 hour, hardly it will take 1 hour, guys. So Swiggy company will go and deliver that food item to us, correct? This is what we know as a customer. We are the customers. What we know, we are opening the Swiggy app. We are placing an order. Once the order is placed successfully, Swiggy company is going to deliver that food item to us in the next 30 minutes to 1 hour, right? This is what we know as a customers. But one thing we need to understand here, guys. So you are going to work as a Power Platform developer, right? So now as a Power Platform developer, or a Power Apps developer, we need to understand one point here, guys. What we need to understand here is, keep in mind, whenever the customer places an order in the app, means what is happening here is the customer is generating some business data, guys. Let's take I'm the customer. I am placing an order in the Swiggy app. I want to buy some food item. So I'm placing an order. If I place an order means what is happening in the backend means I am generating some business data for Swiggy companies. But we don't know, as a customer, we don't know that we are generating some business data. But in the backend is happening. So that's what we need to understand as a Power Platform developer. So whenever the customer places an order, what we understand, the customer is generating some business data for Swiggy company. Now, what kind of business data the customers will generate? Their orders data. I am placing an order. That is the orders data. So in the orders data, what we'll have? We'll have the like, what is the order ID? What is the sales price of that? What's the selling price of that order? What is that means amount we need to pay? Profits data. We'll generate the profits data by selling that food item. What's the profit the Swiggy company will get? We'll generate the profits related data, and also we'll generate what? Food items related data. That means which food item the customer is placing the order. And next we'll generate what? Restaurants related data. What is the restaurant preparing that food? Which restaurant you are selecting to prepare that food? Restaurants related data. And also we are generating what? Customers related data. Like what's the customer ID, customer name, mobile number, email ID, delivery address. And also we'll generate the order date, at what date the customer is order. Time also, order time, at what date and time the customer is placed the order, at what date and time the food item is, the order is delivered to the customer, order date, delivery date, shipped date and time. So like this, lot of information is. So once the order is placed, so what if the customer is placing an order, means what is happening in the backend? Customer is generating some business data for Swiggy company. So like this kind of business data they will generate. So now this data is called as orders data. We'll call it as orders data, or orders data is also called as what? Business data. Orders data is also called as what? Business data. So now whenever the customer places an order, we understand he is generating some business data that is called as orders data. Now where the Swiggy company will go and store that orders data is. So whenever the customer places an order in the app, keep in mind the complete details of that order. These are the details of the order. The complete details of that order will comes into where? Data sources. Whenever the customer places an order in the app, the complete details of that order comes into where? Data sources. Data sources contains what? Orders data. So orders data we'll call it as what? Business data, guys. Orders data will call it as what? Business data, right? Okay. So now here, business data will be stored in which format? Business data will be stored in the tabular format, guys. In the data sources, companies will store the business data in the form of what? Tables, tabular format. That is in the form of columns and fine. Okay. We understand step 1 and step 2. We come to know that whenever the customer places an order in the app, the complete details of the order automatically comes into where? Data sources. Data sources contains what? Business data. In which format the companies will store the business data? In the tabular format. In the tabular format. Okay, fine. We're done with step 1 and step 2. Now let me go and discuss about step 3. That is about automations, guys. Now what's meant by automations? Automation is nothing but sending the automated emails to the customers, sending the automated text messages to the customers, or getting the approvals, auto approvals. These are the examples, guys. Approvals. All this we can do using some automatically, guys. We can do it automatically. So now we need to understand here where the Swiggy company will go and perform the automations, where they will use it. Try to understand, guys. If you observe, whenever you place an order in the app, if you observe whenever the order is placed, you will be receiving one email. You will be receiving one email from the Swiggy. What is that email? The subject of that email will be, your order is placed successfully. Thanks for placing the order. And in the body of that email, you can see that your order details. What is the order ID? What is the food item you placed? What's the amount? Delivery address. So some information. They will send one email to you about the orders data, about that order, right? So now, whatever the email the Swiggy company is sending to you, now do you people think that those mails are sent by the humans? Whatever, let's take I am placing an order. Once the order is placed, I am receiving one email. Now, do you think that whatever the mail the Swiggy company is sending to us, those mails are sent by the humans? Yes or no? If someone can respond. Whatever the mails the Swiggy company is sending to us, once the order is placed, those mails are sent by the humans or not?
No.
No.
No. Correct? No, those are not sent by the humans, guys. Those are system generated emails, automated emails, right? So now why the Swiggy company is sending the emails to the customers automatically with the help of systems? Why they are not using the humans to do this work? Because let me explain. There are a lot of reasons is there, guys. But what are the major reasons? Mainly two reasons here. So now let me mention those. If you observe in the Swiggy app, let's take in the Swiggy, how many customers will place the orders just for one day? Let's take some average number, guys. Complete in India. Let's take in India, major cities like Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, Mumbai, Calcutta, Pune. So if you take these major cities, how many customers will place the orders just for one day? Some
Multiple thousands.
thousands, no doubt. So thousands of customers will place the orders, or thousands of orders will be placed. So let us assume 10, 50,000 customers are placing the orders, guys, just for one day. Let us assume that 50,000 customers are placing the orders. So now for each and every customer, whenever the customer places an order, for each and every customer, Swiggy company need to send one confirmation email, right? So how many mails they want to send? 50,000 orders. So they need to send 50,000 emails. Not only sending the email to the customers, they need to send an email to whom? They need to go and send an email to the restaurant also. They need to go and send an email to who? Restaurants also. So 50,000 emails to the customers, 50,000 emails to the restaurants. So now totally how many mails just for one day? 1 lakh. 1 lakh mails they want to send in one day. So now it is possible to send the 1 lakh mails in a day with the help of humans. Humans can able to send the 1 lakh mails in one day. No case, it is not possible. Sending the 1 lakh mails with the help of humans, it is not possible. But let us assume that Swiggy company, let's take Swiggy company is in the early stage. Suppose think that they don't know about automation. Swiggy company decided to do this work with the help of humans only. So that they are hiring some big manpower. They are hiring some employees, around 30,000 employees they are hiring. They are hiring some big manpower just to send the emails. 30,000 employees they are hiring to send the mails. Maybe these 30,000 employees, they can send 1 lakh mails per day. Maybe, yes, they can do. This is the first reason, sending 1 lakh mails per day. So they need to hire a lot of manpower. Second reason here is, if you observe when the Swiggy company will send the email to the customer, once the order is placed in the app, immediately, within the fraction of seconds, guys, you don't find much delay there. Hardly it will take 4 to 5 seconds, not more than that. Once the order is placed, immediately within the fraction of seconds, maybe within 4 to 5 seconds, they need to send the email to that customer, confirmation mail about the order. Now tell me, even though you have the 30,000 employees here, even though you are hiring some 30,000 employees, these 30,000 employees, they can able to understand who is the customer placed an order, what is the order the customer is placed, what is the order ID, order name, food item, customer name, customer ID, mobile number, delivery address, product, that food item price, discount, profit. They can analyze this data. Even though you have 30,000 employees, these 30,000 employees, they can analyze that data in 4 to 5 seconds. Understanding that orders data and composing the mail in 4 to 5 seconds, it is possible? No, guys. You are not able to do this kind of work with the help of in 4 to 5 seconds. Within 4 to 5 seconds, once the order is placed, if you want to send an email to the customer, it is not possible to do this work with the help of humans. Even though you have 30,000 or even 50,000 employees also, not possible to do it. So like this, every company will have some repeated work process. Every company will have what? They'll have some repeated work process. This is one of the repeated work process which we know for Swiggy. Not only this, there are multiple repeated work process will be there. This is the one of the work process. So if you want to do this kind of repeated work process with the help of humans, no, it is not possible. So in order to go and do this kind of work, companies are using what? Systems. They are using some systems or softwares. So if you are doing some work with the help of systems, then we'll call it as what? Automation. If you are doing some work with the help of systems without human involvement, then we'll call it as automation. So now when the Swiggy company will send an email to the customer, Once the order is placed in the app, what happens? That orders data comes into the data sources. Once the data comes here into the data sources, immediately by taking that orders data as a reference, which is the order placed, by taking that orders data as a reference, the Swiggy company will go and send one automated email to the customer. When they will send the email, once the data comes into the data sources. When the data comes into the data sources, whenever the order is placed. All these 3 steps will be done in a fraction of seconds, guys. Hardly 45 seconds. It will do all this stuff, right? Fine. Okay. Now we understand where the Swiggy company will go into the automations. And next, finally, data analysis. Data analysis means what? Showing the data in the form of visuals. Showing the data in the form of what? Visuals, or in the form of reports, right? So now, if you want to create the visuals or reports, and by seeing these visuals or reports, if the company wants to analyze the data, first of all, we need to have what? If you want to create the visuals or reports, first we need to have what? Data. Without having the data, it is not possible to create the visuals or reports, guys. So now, if you want to take the data to create the visuals or reports, from where we will take the data? Yes, anybody can guess?
From data source.
Data sources, correct. So already we know where the companies will store the business data in the data sources. In the data sources, companies will store the data in the form of what? Tables. So now, if the data is in the form of tables, it is not possible to analyze this data. Guys, let's take this table is orders table. In this table, we'll have the orders data. Let's take I'm having 10 million orders data is there. 10 million orders data I'm having. Now, if the data is in the form of tables, this much of huge volumes of data, if you want to analyze, let's take region-wise what's the sales, or category-wise what's the sales, restaurant-wise what's the sales. If you want to understand this kind of data, it is not possible, guys, if the data is in the form of table. So now, to analyze this data in a better way, what the companies are doing, whatever the data is there in the form of tables, they are preferred to show that data in the form of what? Visuals or reports. So by taking the data from the data sources, we'll go and create some visuals or reports. Once after creating the visuals or reports, by seeing that visuals or reports, companies will do what? They will analyze the data. Analyzing the data will call it as what? Data analysis, right? Let me show you one report here, guys. I'll show you one report, and you will be understanding how they will analyze. Let me go and open one report here. Go and open one report here. So I'm opening one report, guys. As I'm discussing about the orders data, so same orders data I'm taking here also. So if you see, there is a table here. I'm having one table that is orders table, guys. We have the order ID, order date, shipping mode, customer ID, customer name. So, and we have the data like region, category, subcategory, product name, sales. What is the order? What is the sales of that order? What's the quantity, discount, profit? I'm having some orders data here. How many orders data is there? Near to 10,000. 10,000 orders data I'm having. So now let's take, I'm having the 10,000 orders data here, right? Now I want to go and understand reason wise what the sales they're doing, which region is doing what sales. I'm having the sales column here. I'm having the sales column here, and I'm having the region column here. Now I want to understand here I'm having the different regions. These are the different regions I'm having. Now I want to understand region wise what the sales they're doing. Region wise, what is the sales? Now it is possible for you to understand which region is doing what sales in this here. No, it is not possible because the data is in the form of table here. So to understand this data, what I want to do, whatever the data is there in the form of table, I want to show that data in the form of visuals or reports. So let me go here, guys. Go to this, and here this is the orders data, orders table. Whatever the orders table we've seen, that data I'm showing here. Here I'm showing what? Sales data. In that, from that orders data, we are showing only sales data. Now, if you see, by seeing this visual, easily you can understand. First, I'm showing here quantity. Quantity means number of orders placed. Sorry, not number of orders, guys. Number of products they sell to the customers. Till now, how many products they sell? 38,000 products they're selling to the customer. Now, what is that sales? What's the total sales they did? 2.30 million. What's the profit? Total number of orders placed? 9,994 orders are placed. And discount. What are the discounts? Total discount they're providing. And next here you can see category wise sales. There is a column called category column. Here These are the three different categories of products they are selling. Now here they can understand very easily which category is doing the highest sales. This is the category technology. Which category is doing the second highest sales? Furniture, office supplies. And even if I hold the mouse here, it will show some tooltip. Which category it is? Supplies, office supply. What's the sales? Is the sales. What's the percentage of sales also? And next, if you go here, here I'm showing the region-wise sales. Now by seeing this visual, easily you can understand which is the region doing the highest sales, West region. Which is doing the second highest sales, East. Which one is doing the least sales? South region is doing very least sales. So here, one more visual, a line chart. Here by seeing this visual, we can understand what year-wise, what's the sales. Year-wise, what sales they're doing. In which year they are doing the highest sales? 2017. In which year they did the less sales? 2015, right? So like this, we can understand the business data, right? So whatever the data is there in the form of table here in the orders table, the same data I'm showing here in the form of visuals. This is a visual. These are all the visuals, guys. So a group of visuals, these are the group of visuals. A group of visuals will call it as what? A report. A group of visuals will call it as what? A report. So now by seeing these visuals or reports, what the company can do, they will analyze. If you see by seeing this, they can analyze the data. So West region is doing the highest sales, South is doing the less sales. What is the sales we can see, right? Fine. So this is about what's meant by visuals or reports and how the companies will go and analyze the data by seeing the visuals or reports. So now we understand what is this 4-step business applications process and how these 4 steps are connected with each other. We understand whenever the customer places an order in the app, the data comes here. Once the data comes here, immediately by taking the data as a reference, they'll do some automations. And also by taking the data from the data sources, they'll go and create what? Visuals or the, right? Fine, okay. So still now, whatever I mentioned here, this 4-step business application process, let me list out those points here, guys. So first, front-end applications. So front-end applications means what? Front-end applications means simple. It is nothing but creating the apps, comma websites, comma chatbots. And next, data sources. Data sources is nothing but what? A place where the companies will store their business data is known as data sources. The place where the companies will store their business data is known as data sources. And next, automation. I said that what's meant by automation? Automation is nothing but doing certain, try to understand the words and the terminals I'm using here. Doing certain, not the complete work, certain repeated work. Doing certain repeated work automatically without any human interactions. Doing some work automatically without any human interaction is known as automation. And next, finally, one more point, data analysis. I said that data analysis means what? It is one process. The process of converting, what converting? Converting the business data into what? Actionable information. Actionable information means what? Visuals or reports, guys. Actionable information means what? Visuals or reports. Now, why I'm calling this visuals or reports or an actionable information? Because by seeing the visuals or reports, they'll take some actions, guys. Let me go here. Let's take, by seeing this visual, they can understand that this is the region which is doing the less sales. So what they can do now, by seeing this visual, they'll take an action immediately. What action? Immediately, let's assume they'll conduct one meeting with the South region sales manager. They'll come to know what the reasons why they are doing very less sales in the month or in the year. So how to increase the sales in the south region? To increase the sales in the south region, what the necessary steps they need to take? So they are taking an action or not by seeing this visual? Yes. So as they are taking some actions by seeing the visuals or reports, that's why I'm calling it as what? Actionable information, right? So this is all about what is this 4-step business applications process is, right? So now my requirement, I want to understand how to implement this 4-step business applications process with the help of Power Platform. I want to implement this business applications process using Power Platform. How to implement the business applications process with the help of Power Platform SOAP. We need to understand about this point now, right? Fine. So let me start understanding it. How to implement this business applications process using Power Platform. Before going to understand it, first let me go and keep here. First, what is Power Platform? As we know, as we come to know already, what is Power Platform? Microsoft Power Platform is used for what? Microsoft Power Platform software is used to implement the business applications process of an organization. It is used to implement the business applications process of an organization, right? Okay. Now I want to implement this 4-step business applications process using Power Platform. Now how do it? How to implement this business applications process with the help of Power Platform software? We need to understand, right? Okay. Now to understand about this business applications process using Power Platform, first of all, we need to understand one point here, that is Power Platform architecture. So what is the architecture of Microsoft Power Platform? First, understand the architecture, and then it is easy for you to understand how to implement this applications process using Power Platform. So let me go and show you the Power Platform architecture, guys. So this is what the Power Platform architecture. Now here, first point we need to understand here is, first of all, we need to understand 2 points. What are those 2 points is, first point is, what is the use of Power Platform now? We come to know that Power Platform is used to implement what? The 4-step business applications process. It is used to implement the 4-step business applications process. Step 1, already we know. Second point we need to understand here, this Power Platform, it is not a single software. Yes. Power Platform is not a single software. Keep in mind, don't think that Power Platform means one software. No. Power Platform means it is a collection of softwares. In the Power Platform, there are different softwares we'll have. So what are the different softwares we'll have? Which software is used for what? You'll come to know. For now, keep in mind these 2 points, right? Okay. So now this is the Power Platform architecture. As we know, Power Platform is used for what? To implement the business applications process. In the business applications process, first we need to start with what? Front end. So now in order to go and implement the front end applications, in order to go and implement all the front end applications, we need to go and use what softwares here. So these are all the different softwares we'll have to implement the front end. One is what? Power Apps. Second software we'll have here is what? Power Pages. Next software we'll have what? Power Virtual Agent. So these are the 3 softwares we'll have to implement the front end applications. Now once after the front end, next the second step is what? Data sources. Second step is what? Data sources. So now try to understand, data sources means what? The place where the company will store the business data, right? So now here, if you want to store the business data within the Power Platform, guys, within the Power Platform, if you want to store your business data, then go and use what? Dataverse. Now what is this Dataverse means? Dataverse is an inbuilt, it is an inbuilt data storage software within the Power Platform. That means if you want to store your business data within the Power Platform, then go and use Dataverse. But not only Dataverse, guys. Even Power Platform will support you to store the data in the other data sources like SQL Server, SharePoint, Oracle, MySQL, Excel, CSV, SAP HANA, Dynamic 365, Salesforce. Like this, it will support a number of data sources, guys, not one or two. Power Platform will support you to store the data, almost all the data sources. It can support hundreds and thousands of data sources, guys. But most commonly used one is nowadays, first preference, they'll go for the SharePoint. Why they'll go for the SharePoint, you'll understand in our upcoming sessions what the reasons behind it. Second preference, they'll go for the Dataverse. Third preference, they'll go for the SQL Server. So these are most commonly used data sources, guys. That's why I'm listing this three here. Not only these three remaining, there are a lot of data sources where it can support. I will show you what are the different types of data sources it can support. Again, I'm mentioning 1,000, more than 1,000 to 1,500 plus data sources it support. But keep in mind, inbuilt is what? Inbuilt is Dataverse. Most commonly used what? SharePoint, right? Fine, okay. Next point about third point is what? Automation. Now, in order to go into the automations, go and use which software? Power Automate. So with the help of Power Automate, we can do some automations. And next, finally, the fourth step is data analysis. Now, to perform the data analysis, the fourth step is data analysis. To perform the data analysis, we'll go and use which software? Microsoft Power BI. There is another software called what? Power BI. Power BI for what? To create the visuals or the reports. So now we understand Power Platform is not a single software. Power Platform means it's a collection of softwares. There are different softwares in the Power Platform. Now, with the help of this collection of softwares, we are able to implement the four-step business applications process. Now, let me list out all those different softwares here, guys, and then I will show you how to implement them. First, let me keep here one point as we understand. Power Platform is not a single software. Power Platform is not a single software. Power Platform is a collection of softwares. Power Platform is a collection of softwares. What are the different softwares we'll have? Let me list out all those. First, I'm keeping here Power Apps. Next, Power Automate. Next, Power BI. Next, Power Pages. Next, Power Virtual Agent. And next, finally, the sixth one is Dataverse. So these are the different softwares we'll have. So now with the help of this collection of softwares, we are going to implement this four-step business applications process. Now let me start implementing this, how to implement it. So first, let me start with what? Front end. Now in the front end, first we'll start with what? Creating apps. Now to create apps, go and use which software? Power Apps. So let me go and keep here. What is Power Apps means? Power Apps is used to create the apps or the forms within the Power Platform. Within the Power Platform, if you want to create the apps or the forms, then go and use what? Power Apps, right? Next, I want to create the websites. To create the websites, go and use what? Power Pages. So what is the use of this Power Pages? Power Pages is used to create the secured web pages. So here in the Power Platform terminology, we don't call it as websites, guys. We will call it as what? Web pages. To create the web pages, go and use what? Power Pages. And next, I want to create the chartboard. Now to create the chartboard, go and use what? Power Virtual Agent. So what is the use of this Power Virtual Agent? Power Virtual Agent is used to create the AI chartboards, guys. The AI chartboards. So if you want to create them, chartboards means what now? Chartbot means it is just like a customer support, guys. It is just like what? A customer support. So now, nowadays, not all the companies, most of the top MNC companies where they have more number of business users, they're creating chartboards, right? Fine. It is like a customer support, guys. Okay. Now I done with front end. Next, step 2 is data sources. Now already mentioned, what is the inbuilt data storage software in the Power Platform? Dataverse. Now what is Dataverse? Let me keep here. Dataverse is a database software. It is a database software which is used to store the business data within the Power Platform. If you want to store the business data within the Power Platform, then go and use what? Dataverse. Not only Dataverse, if you want to store the business data outside of the Power Platform, like SQL Server, SharePoint, Oracle, Excel, CSV, SAP, HANA. So like this, there are different types of data sources we'll have. You can use those data sources also. But inbuilt is Dataverse, right? Next, third step is automations. Now to do the automations, go and use what? Power Automate. So now what is Power Automate? Let me mention here. So Power Automate is an automation software which is used to automate the repeated work process. Power Automate is an automation software which is used to automate what? The repeated work process. As I mentioned already just 3 minutes back, every company will have some repeated work process, guys. Now I want to automate that work process. To automate that work process, I need to have an automation software. What's that software we are using here? Power Automate. So Power Automate is an automation software which is used to automate the repeated work process, right? Fine. Okay. And next, finally, data analysis. Now to do the data analysis, go and use which software? Power BI. So now what is Power BI? Let me keep here. Power BI is a data analytics. It is a data analytics software which is used to analyze the business data. Simple case. Power BI is what software? It is a data analytics. We can call it as data analytics. We can call it as data analysis, or we can call it as business intelligence also, guys. There are different names for this tool. So let me call it as a data analytics. Power BI is a data analytics software which is used for what? Analyze the business data. Where the companies will store the business data? Data sources. Whatever the data is there in the data sources, I want to analyze that data. To analyze that data, we need to create the visuals or reports. To create the visuals or reports, we need to use one software. What's that software I'm using here now? Power BI. With the help of Power BI, we can create the visuals or reports by taking the data from the data sources, and by seeing the visuals, companies will go and analyze their business data, right? Okay. So now, as we understand here, with the help of this collection of softwares, now we are able to implement this 4-step business applications process or not? Yes. With the help of this collection of softwares, we are able to implement this 4-step business applications process. And whatever the 6 points or the 6 softwares I mentioned, the 6 softwares and their usages, the same 6 points or the 6 softwares I listed in the beginning of today's class. I said that what you can do with the help of Power Platform. Using Power Platform, you can create the apps. To create the apps, go and use what? Power Apps. To create the websites, go and use what? Power Pages. To create the chatbot, go and use what? Power Virtual Agent. To do the automations, go and use what? Power Automate. To store the data, go and use what? Dataverse. And to analyze the data, go and use what? Power BI. Whatever the 6 points I mentioned here, I said that these are all the things we are going to implement in the Power Platform. To implement all these things, these are all the softwares we are going to use, right? Fine. Okay. I'm done with the session. Let me conclude it. As I mentioned, so these are all the points which we are going to discuss now in today's class. So now you come to know what is Power Platform. You understand what is business applications. You understand how to implement the business applications using Power Platform. We understand the Power Platform architecture. And also we understand how we will go and implement all these softwares or all these components within the Power Platform software, and why we need to implement them also we understand. And also we discussed about who will use the Power Platform and who will hide the Power Platform. chartboards. So whatever the points I mentioned, each and every point, step by step, in detail we understand. So I'll take the questions now. But before going take the questions, I'll give the time for you to take the questions from your end. But before going take the questions, just make a note, guys. Make a note. Just give me some couple of minutes, 3 to 4 minutes of time. I'll keep some bullet points here. Just copy something from here to here. So it will take some lot of time to write everything. So I'll do just copy paste. Just go and copy from here to here. Just copy it and then paste it. Copy and paste. Now make a note. Make a note. So today is the demo, guys. I'm giving some brief introduction to what is Power Platform. So consider today's class is an introduction class or a demo. Now when the new batch will start, guys? Not from tomorrow. So new batch starts in the next week. The next week we'll start the new batch on Wednesday. That is of 11th of Feb. So we'll start the new batch on when? 11th of Feb 2026. That is on Wednesday. Is on Wednesday we'll start the new batch. And the batch timings is evening 8 to 9 p.m. guys. So as today is the demo, I'm taking for morning 11 o'clock. But when we'll start the batch? From coming Wednesday, 11th Feb. So from this date, when I start the batch, from this date, every day the class will be on evening 8 to 9. Today is the demo, I'm just taking for 11, but this is not the timing for the new batches. New batch will start from Wednesday. Batch timings is evening 8 to 9, right? So there is no change in the batch timing. Every day we'll start the class at 8 o'clock. We'll wind up the class by 9. Fine, okay. This is the batch start date and timing. And next point, coming 2 more classes are free, guys. So you have the access to attend the 3 free classes. So you don't want to pay any even registration fee also. It is totally free of cost. So today is the class 1. So coming 2 more classes are free, guys. That is on Wednesday and Thursday, 11th and 12th of Feb. You can attend for free. So what I will discuss there in the coming 2 more free classes, practicals. So in today's class, I haven't shown you even 1 point practicals, guys. Every point I shown you in today's class is theoreticals, right? So whatever I discussed theoretically in today's class, every point I will show you practically at an high level how the Power Platform softwares will work in the next coming 2 to 3 classes. In the next coming 2 to 3 classes, whatever the things we discussed theoretically here, I will show you each and every point practically at a high level so that you'll be understanding what each software can do, right? So as we are discussing some practicals in the next coming 2 more classes, that is on Wednesday and Thursday, don't miss them. Try to attend it, guys, right? Online people, whatever the link you are using for today's class, use that same link to attend the 11th and 12th of Feb, right? Fine. Now, once after completion of today's class, you will be getting one email, guys. You'll be getting one email. In that email, what things you'll get? You'll get the notepad, today's class notes. This complete class notes, I will share it with you. You can take this class notes as a reference. And also I will share video, today's class recorded video I'll share. And also I will share what course content. So I think all of you received the content, guys, course curriculum, what topics we are going to discuss in the upcoming sessions, right? So here, I listed clearly what the topics I'm going to discuss in our upcoming sessions. Clearly, I listed what the topics we are going to cover. So you please go and walk through the content once, guys, so that you will be able to understand what the topics we are going to cover in our upcoming sessions, clearly listed here topic wise. You please go and refer it once so that you will be able to understand what we'll be discussing in our regular classwork, right? Fine, okay. And how many days the course duration is? The course duration will be 2 months, guys. Course duration will be for 2 months. Daily 1 hour session, Monday to Friday. Saturdays and Sundays, mostly we don't have the classes. It is a weekday program, daily 1 hour session, that is 8 to 9 p.m. So within 2 months, we'll complete the course. There is no doubt in that. So now even after completion of the course, so you have the access to attend the live classes up to how many months, guys? 6 months. So keeping in mind the considerations from the student's point of view, So most of the students are working people. So due to some personal reasons, they are not able to complete attending the live classes within 2 months. They're missing some classes, or they're discontinue the classes in between. So keeping in mind the reasons from students' point of view, so you have the access to attend the live classes up to 6 months from the date of joining. So it is your responsibility to complete attending the live classes within 6 months from the date of joining. So after 6 months, you don't have the access to attend the live classes. You need to go to the recordings itself, right? Fine. And next, I said that 2 months is the course duration, right? Now in these 2 months, what the skills you are going to learn? We'll be learning Power Apps and Power Automate. These are the major skills we are going to discuss in the 2 months of course duration, both Power Apps and Power Automate. We'll discuss it from basics to advanced. From the scratch to advanced expert level, we'll be discussing in our classes. These are the 2 major courses we are going to cover in the 2 months. Along now in Power Apps and Power Automate, we'll be using some SharePoint concepts and Dataverse concepts, guys. So whatever the concepts we are going to use in SharePoint and data in Power Apps and Power Automate, those concepts we'll cover here. Make a note again here. This course is not for a database developer or a SharePoint developer or a data source developer. This course is for Power Apps developer role. So don't expect SharePoint complete developer, Dataverse also complete developer, because your role is not a database developer. So you are going to work as an application developer. So as an application developer, you don't require the complete knowledge on the databases. Just some basic understanding about what is a database, what is a table, what is a schema, what is memory relation. That knowledge is enough. That knowledge I will provide in my classes. It is a part of our curriculum. You don't want to look outside. So whatever it is required for you from SharePoint and Dataverse, those concepts I will cover in the regular classwork itself. It's a part of our curriculum, right? These are the skills we are going to learn. Make a note here again. So most of the, after joining the classes, I'm facing a lot of difficulties from the students, guys. Clearly, I'm mentioning you are not going to work as a SharePoint developer. You are not going to work as a database developer. If you are looking for SharePoint developer role, if you are looking for a database developer role, then this is not the class for you. This class is for Power Apps and Power Automate developer. Here in Power Apps and Power Automate, I'll use some concepts in SharePoint and Dataverse. I'll discuss those concepts which are required for us, but not discussing complete SharePoint Dataverse here. Make a note. And coming to the registered students, guys, people, those who got registered with us. So registered people, you'll get some add-ons. What the benefits you'll get, guys? Everyday class notes. Every day we'll share the class notes with you. Once after completion of the class, I'll share the class notes. And also all recordings. Every class recording you will get. Suppose if you due to some personal work, you are not attending the class today, you will get the video after completion of that class. You'll go to that video, welcome to the next class tomorrow, guys. So how many years we have the access for the recordings? 2 years. 2 years we'll provide the access for you for the recordings. And interview, I'll share the interview question answers, and we'll share the resumes to you. And also we'll share the projects which you need to keep it in your resumes. And also we'll conduct the mock interviews. So these are the things you'll get, people, those who got registered. Along with this, what add-ons you'll get? Add-ons, license will share credentials. To work with the Power Platform, you need to have the Microsoft developer account, guys. You need to have which account? Microsoft developer account. So this license is not free for India. This is paid. So if you want to purchase this license, it will be around 5,000 per month, guys. Minimum 5,000 per month, based on the products you are using. So we'll provide this license for you for free of cost. For free. You don't want to pay any additional charges for us for 6 months. For 6 months, we can access the licenses. We'll share that for free of cost, right? So we'll share the licenses also with you for 6 months for practice purpose. With that license, we can access all the Microsoft applications. And also, as I mentioned, live classes access. How many months you have the access to attend live classes? 6 months from the date of joining. Okay, these are all add-ons you'll get. Now coming to the job opportunities, guys. So you have a question in your mind. As there are 6 softwares in the Power Platform, now we need to learn all the 6 softwares to get the job. No, not required, guys. It is not required to learn all the skills. So there are different combinations of jobs they are offering in Power Platform. One of the combinations is, this is the combination. Nowadays, they are offering more. Power Apps and Power Automate. With these 2 skills, you'll get the job. Now, who can learn this? Power Apps, Power Automate, or this combination also? Power Apps, Power Automate, and any database knowledge, either SQL, Oracle, or Dataverse, SharePoint, any database knowledge. This combination will have more number of job openings, guys. Now, who can learn this? So people, those who already working in the SharePoint, they can just go and learn Power Apps and Power Automate, so that you will be upskilling yourself. So you will be surviving the IT in the next 5 to 10 years. Next, people, those who already working in Power BI, who are working in Power BI, you people must update your skill with Power Apps and Power Automate. And people, those who already working in .NET, people, those who are already working in CRM tools like Dynamic 365 CRM tools, and people, those who are already working in Java, who are working in Java. So these people, guys, you can learn Power Apps and Power Automate is enough. But those who are very new, freshers, and students, or those who have some career gap, and people, those who want to switch their jobs. Let's take you are working in non-IT. Then if you want to switch your domain to IT, then you people also can go and learn this. But along with Power Apps and Power Automate, you people need to have some knowledge on the SharePoint also. At least a basic or to intermediate knowledge is required on the SharePoint to get the job. Not complete, I'm telling. Again, make a note. At least basic to intermediate, right? So anyone can learn this technology. Another combination is Power BI plus SQL. This combination also will have the jobs, but this competition will have a lot of competition in the market nowadays. Lot of competition is there. Another combination is all these skills: Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, SQL, SharePoint, Dataverse. If you have all these skills also, the companies will hire you. So as these are the different combination of jobs where they are offering in the real world. So among all this, we are discussing about this skill: Power Apps, Power Automate, SharePoint, and Dataverse. These are the skills we are going to learn in our curriculum, where nowadays we'll have more number of job openings where anybody can learn this. And next, one more. We have the WhatsApp community for Power Platform trainings. So any update regarding the Power Platform training, we'll post those updates in that WhatsApp community. I think most of the people haven't joined in the committee. My team already shared the commit link with you through WhatsApp, through mail, and they send one message also to you. Most of the people are not joining there. Guys, if you want to get the latest updates, anyway, you'll get the mail, but mails you'll miss sometime. But WhatsApp, it will be there in your fingertips. So if you want to get the latest updates, any Power Platform training, you please join in the community so that you'll get the latest updates. So I'm keeping the community link in the chat box. So you can use that community link and you can join there. And if you have any questions regarding the fees details, or any other batch timings, you can reach out to my team, guys. I'm providing the front office team details also here in the chat box, right? Fine, okay. Now, let's go to the questions. Now, most commonly asking question, guys. Most of you people have one thing in your mind. To learn Power Apps and Power Automate, we need to have any prerequisite. There is any prerequisite to learn Power Apps and Power Automate? The answer is strictly no. No prerequisite to learn Power Apps and Power Automate, guys. So anybody can learn it. So why there is no prerequisite? Why everybody can learn this? Because try to understand. First point, Power Apps or Power Platform, it doesn't come under the programming part, guys. It is a low code and no code platform where you doesn't require any prior coding skills. You don't require any C, Java, Python, .NET. No, not require any skill to learn this technology, guys. Anybody can learn it because most of the work, 60 to 70% of the work, 60 to 70% of the work will be done by using just drag and drop. That is using some GUI options, drag and drop. And remaining 30 to 40% of the work, 30 to 40% of the work will be done by using some functions. Functions means, I think most of you people know Excel, right? In Excel, how we will have some functions like filter function, lookup function, aggregation functions, if condition, switch case, nested if. So how we'll have the functions there? Same type of functions we'll have here, guys. Just we'll use that functions here. Apart from that, you don't write any C, Java, Python, Angular, C Sharp, no, we don't, .NET. We don't use any prior coding languages here, right? So as most of the work will be done using GUI, drag and drop, remaining work will be done using some functions, just a minimal functions. So anybody can learn this technology to enter into the IT, right? Fine. So I'll stop here today and we'll be discussing from here in the next class and when? Our next class will be on 11th of Feb. 11th of Feb. That is on Wednesday. At what time? Evening 8 to 9 p.m. So what we'll discuss there? Practicals. So practically at a high level, we'll understand how we'll go and use this Power Platform softwares to implement this 4-step business applications. I'll show you at a high level with the help of this collection of softwares, how we'll go and implement all these 4-step business applications. Right? Fine. I'll stop here. Let me go with the questions now. Now, online people, if you have any questions, now please raise your hands. I'll talk to you one-on-one.